In the meantime, he is one of the 3 members on the Texas Railroad Commission and the only one who was in favor of taking a vote today on cuts. Ryan joins me now, and it's good to see you, sir. And so you're talking about how much here, a 20% production cut for Texas?
That's what I believe we should do. If we tie it to production cuts in other areas around the country and even some other areas around the world, yes.
So that's a big if, though. I mean, because if Texas does it alone, you're going to lose market share, right?
Well, let's talk about this. How much market share is there, right? When you're talking about the global demand for oil being 75 million barrels a day or less, it's no one's gaining market share. Now, if there's some discussion, wait a minute, if Texas cuts alone, do we lose a proportional market share? Maybe, but no one's drilling, no one's accelerating their drilling program to fill a gap. Now, that said, the reason that we should prorate only contingent on other people prorating is if we do it alone, it doesn't really provide a lot of stability to the market. OPEC already pulled close to 10 million barrels a day out of the market. We still think the market's oversupplied by 10 to 15, maybe 20 million barrels a day more.
Yeah.
But this action for us to take 5 would help bring that balance a little closer as we start to see demand come back in places like China.
Is prorate a fancy term for quotas?
No, in terms of proration is knowing how much you can produce, setting a limit on that is a little different than saying, here's kind of an allocated amount that you can produce over time. So proration is more based on your historic performance and then going forward, whereas quotas is a way of just allocating that looking forward, regardless of what someone's development has been in the past.
So you would have been ready to take that decision, take that vote. Hopefully, you'd want your colleagues on board with you to say, yes, we're going to go ahead and prorate. But you would do that only in conjunction with other states. And would Canada be part of that as well?
It would be. My position is if we voted today or when we vote May 5th, if we said we're going to prorate 1 million barrels a day roughly in Texas, which is about 20%, contingent on 4 million barrels coming from other states, other nations, then we enact those cuts on June 1st. It provides a runway of about 35, 40 days if it was today, 35 days if we do it May 5th, 25 days if we do it May 5th, for those other people to get on board knowing that Texas has chipped in 1 million.
Right. So North Dakota has a meeting this afternoon. Oklahoma is talking about maybe having regulators consider limits because they're concerned this is all wasteful. I guess your chairman, who we'll speak to tomorrow, says he's reached out to Canada's oil minister. She's offered to help if you guys decide to prorate. I mean, this is kind of like a North American OPEC that is shaping up here. How likely do you think the odds are that you'll actually come to some kind of deal and agreement?
Put it this way, the harder prices are, the more we are seeing contract prices in the low single digits and even going negative, I think the odds are better. It's really hard for anybody to make the argument today that there's not waste. And waste to the tune of literally tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a day just in Texas. So I think that the impetus is there. The law is there for us to do something. The question is just how. And look, you mentioned Canada. I talked to Sonia Savage up there, talked to our counterparts in New Mexico. I mean, this has been an ongoing conversation. Talked to the Russian oil minister again yesterday. And he was saying that, look, we do need more decisive action, but any additional action, any discussion of additional action by OPEC, he said, would likely be dependent on whether or not Texas was able to make something formal happen. So I think there's a lot of momentum. And when you see this massive amount, this massive glut of oil on the market versus demand, it's incumbent upon us to act.
All right. And how soon do you think that action could happen, Ryan, real quickly before we go?
At this point, I think it's May 5th. We'll have an order prepared. And I believe the 3 commissioners will take a vote on May 5th. Don't know for sure, but I think that was the message that you got from the 3 of us today.